What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update. We're going to go into the last 24 hours of Tottenham news. We brought you yesterday that Spurs officially announced Tanguy Ndombele is going to be leaving the club, and he took to social media to give a parting message to the fans. He said, "It's the end of my adventure in the best club in London. I learned a lot during my time at Tottenham. Thank you for the unwavering support of the supporters. I wish you all the best for the future, and I know you will be extremely successful." So it feels like he was just speaking directly to you there.
Bring him back. Give him another chance. I don't want to give up my unwavering support for Tanguy Ndombele, the maverick that is Tanguy. But no, in all seriousness, nice little message, but I don't know if there really was unwavering support, to be honest. So I'm not sure who he's referring to.
He's referring to you and Josh King. That's literally it.
Us two. Yeah, look, there was a period we wanted to give him another shot. Unfortunately, he disappointed us. But what was he going to say? Go away, F you. He's not going to.
Didn't have to say anything.
Well, he had a nice little message at the end. It's weird. His last appearance with Tottenham was 2.5 years ago.
Is that right? 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, because it was back in...
under Conte. His last appearance was against Morecambe, right?
Yeah, I don't think he played since after he walked off the pitch.
Yeah.
So that was January 22.
Yeah.
So a
Unreal.
long time ago.
Mad. But alas, it was still a very nice message for him to leave the club with. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Tanguy now. But yeah, I'm just so happy and relieved that book is finally closed now. Let's talk about Emerson Royal. Tom Allnut of The Times says that Tottenham have told AC Milan they want £21 million for their right-back Emerson Royal as the club continue to shift players deemed surplus to requirements by Ange Postecoglou. Spurs initially valued Emerson at £25 million, but have dropped their asking price to sell the Brazilian defender. Milan hoped that £15 million would be enough to sign Emerson, but there is optimism. An agreement can still be reached. So it just seems like the revolving same updates all the time now with Emerson and Milan.
I think this one looks like it's going to happen. Obviously, Fonseca's been officially appointed today. So whether anything changes now that he's the manager, I guess we'll have to wait and see. But I don't think they put all this groundwork in if the manager... And I'm sure they spoke to Fonseca, and I'm sure those conversations have been had. So I doubt it gets this far if there wasn't an okay or a green light from Fonseca to bring him in. So the fact that Tottenham have been willing to lower their demands shows they're willing to, you know, negotiate to get this deal done, which is unlike Levy. Usually he sticks to a price and, you know, and they have to meet it, otherwise the deal doesn't get done. So hopefully there's a sign of Levy being a bit flexible in this window. Yeah,
and I think there has been signs of that when you look at Sessegnon and when you look at Tanguy Ndombele. When you look at this deal as well, first they wanted 25, we've dropped it to 21, and it could even drop a bit further down. I reckon this deal probably gets done for around 20 million euros. I reckon that's what it'll get done for, and I think that'll be a fair price as well. So we'll see how that one progresses as well. Now let's talk about this interesting turn of events with Cuti Romero. ESPN Argentina broke last night that Real Madrid are expressing a keen interest in signing Cuti Romero this summer, and in fact have already gone as far to make contact with the World Cup winner's entourage. Mario Cortegana of The Athletic, he covers Real Madrid for The Athletic, he says, at Real Madrid, Tottenham chairman Daniel Levy is considered as the most difficult negotiator in football. And Alistair Gold was speaking on, I think, Last Word on Spurs last night about the subject, and he said Tottenham would be absolutely loath to lose Romero this summer. He seems happy enough with all the noise he is making. Spurs have got to show all the players that they are moving in the right direction, and that's absolutely spot on. But with Romero, do you think there's any sort of chance that he could leave?
I'll have to take a monstrous bid.
Yeah.
A big bid.
Well, we bought him for what? Like 45, 50?
Yeah, you're looking at 90 to 100 million, I think, for Romero. 26 years of age, World Cup winner in his prime, has got many years left at the top of his game. So he's nowhere near, you know, he's right at a good age. One of the best defenders in the Premier League. Obviously, if Romero kicks up a fuss, we'll have to wait and see what happens in that event. But I don't think at this moment in time there's a worry about that. He's vice captain. He seems happy with the noises he makes. So he's very happy at the moment. But the reality is he's been here 3 years. We haven't won anything. We haven't got close to winning anything. And he's also only had Champions League for one season. And we got knocked out the last 16. Conference League, we got knocked out the group stages. Last season, we didn't have Europe at all. So that can't continue. And I think another season like that, or another season where we're not close to winning anything, and we don't do well in the Europa League, I think he might start to consider his options. But I do think he's going to give us one more year. But then again, they sometimes say once Madrid come calling, sometimes they don't come knocking twice, and he might think about that. But do I see Madrid summing up what's required to sign him? I mean, you never know. I guess they could. They've done it before. But I don't think they've ever spent that much money on a centre-back before.
No, they haven't. And also, they've just spent a crazy amount on Mbappe. I mean, I think they gave him, 100, 150 million signing on fee or something like crazy like that. So, I mean, they have spent a lot this summer. I don't think this deal gets done this summer. But what I can see is potentially something happening next summer. He'll be going with 2 years left in his contract next summer. And if he doesn't sign from now until next summer, I think Spurs might have to consider something, because we can't go down to him having 1 year left, potentially running down his contract for someone so valuable, and especially in a position where we've got players coming through as well.
It depends. It depends how we go. If we're looking like we could be if we're in a title challenge next year, and maybe we win a cup, I think we maybe hold strong. But if we're again not where we want to be next season, and we're battling for 4th, 5th, and going out the cups early, and we're going out Europa League before the semi-finals, then I think you might look at it and think, I've been here 4 years, we haven't got close. How much longer can I stay here? And in that event, I think we probably might have to sell. But I think this summer, I don't think he's in much danger of it, unless Madrid really put their balls on the table and offer 100 million, and then it might make Romero think, is it time? But I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, there is a situation actually this summer where they actually do need to bring in a defender, because Nacho, I believe, is going to be leaving on a free transfer at the end of his contract, which is this summer. Militao, I don't know what's going on with Militao. I don't think he's been doing too well. Yeah, exactly. So something's not right with him over the past year. So they are in actually desperate need for a centre back this summer.
But usually when they sign defenders, they don't usually, like Rudiger, I think was a free, wasn't he, from Chelsea? David Alaba, I know he's been injured, but he was a free from Munich. That's the route they usually go down. They don't like to spend big money. But maybe when it comes to Romero, they might look at him and think he's worth the money. But I think if Madrid are smart, I don't know if they spend that amount on Romero and probably go for a bit of a cheaper option, considering they just won the Champions League with Nacho at the back. You know what I mean? Like, do they need to spend 100 million on Romero?
Yeah, I don't know. They're trying to build like some sort of crazy super team at the moment, or not that they didn't have a super team already, but it's those centre-back options where they're looking the most frail out of everywhere, even though it doesn't look that frail when you look to maybe other teams around Europe. But that is the key place where they can make the additions. And Romero, I mean, he's a top quality defender, and he will suit right in that team, won't he? So that one's a precarious situation. We'll have to see how that one develops. But in my opinion, I don't think anything happens this summer. But like you said, if things carry on the way that they are going at Tottenham and we don't progress the way we want to do, then next summer could be a very dangerous situation on the Coutinho Romero front. Tom Allnut as well was talking about Hojbjerg, and he said Atletico Madrid have renewed their interest in Hojbjerg. I mean, we have spoken about this over the past week or so, but I thought I'd just bring it up because it's a new report. But nothing new there, really.
Yeah, I think Atletico will probably be Hojbjerg's first choice if they put the money up. But whether last season they didn't want to spend the 25 million, or 30 million, sorry, that we wanted. The price is lower to about 20 million now. So do they go for it? I think the closest they got was a loan with a option to buy, but Tottenham didn't want that. So it's on the ball's in Atletico's court to meet our price, I guess. But right now, how many clubs are willing to pay the money for Hojbjerg right now?
What do you reckon we're asking for? 20, 25
Between 20
million?
and 25, I would say.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not the craziest price. I do think maybe if he has a good Euros, it could persuade some more clubs to do that. But when you're looking at the clubs that are interested, you've got Atletico Madrid, Napoli, potentially Fenerbahce. In a weird way, probably Fenerbahce are probably the ones that are probably more willing to pay that money to get someone of his quality into the Turkish league. I'm not sure in terms of the finances of Atletico Madrid and Napoli, but Atletico Madrid have just made Champions League again, which they do every single year. So there might be some money floating around there.
Surely 20 million. Come on,
yeah.
Atletico.
Let's talk about Conor Gallagher now. Two reports, one from Jacob Steinberg saying that Chelsea are considering a shift in their position over selling Tottenham target Conor Gallagher and could make a concerted effort to agree a new deal with the midfielder. Tom Allnut says that Spurs also face competition from Villa for Conor Gallagher, who has 1 year left in his contract at Chelsea and is yet to agree a new deal. Chelsea were looking for 50 million for the 24-year-old in January, but need to sell players this summer because of financial pressures. Tottenham are expected to push for Gallagher this month. I mean, again, like the Emerson deal, like the Pierre and Hojbjerg one, it's like the same thing over and over again. Nothing ever seems to progress.
Apparently, Chelsea are set to sign John Duran from Villa, though, for about 40 million, they're saying. So I do wonder how that would affect the transfer dominoes in terms of what does that mean for Chelsea's position for selling? Does it make them more likely to sell? What does it mean for Villa? Do they have more money to spend after that? Can they push about a bit more on a Conor Gallagher with that money for John Duran? So that's quite an interesting development when it comes to this deal. But obviously, for me, it's no surprise that they're considering changing their position because he's a very important player for them. I always thought there was a possibility that could happen with given the fact he's their captain, such an important player for Chelsea last season. And I don't really see a world where Gallagher joins Tottenham this summer. I just think it's too difficult to see that possibility. I think there are too many things in blocking this deal. Too many things in the way of this deal for it to happen. If it was a different club to Chelsea, I think there'll be more of a chance. Just the fact that it's Chelsea, Gallagher's an academy product. I just think also the wages Gallagher's going to want, because that's why he hasn't agreed to deal with Chelsea as well. I think all those things added together may mean it's going to be extremely unlikely he joins Tottenham. But if Chelsea really are desperate, if Gallagher's open to joining Tottenham and he's willing to, I don't know, take 150 grand a week, then if all those things line up, then it could happen. But I just think it's very unlikely all those things do line up.
What a poor guy willing to take £150,000 a week.
I know, that's the modern day football. But look,
ridiculous.
If I'm Gallagher's agent though, and he's looking at all these players joining Chelsea on big wages, long contracts, and he's captain, and he's on he's on 50 grand a week or whatever. I think he's well within his right to say Sterling's on
350 or something. Yeah.
Why am I not close to that? I'm more important than him. You don't even play Sterling. So I think his agent's doing the right thing in terms of what he deserves.
You've seen some of these players who are like Chelsea's wages. Their wage structure is the weirdest thing. If you look at some of the players that are on mad wages, I'll get it up in a sec. But you've got players. All these players, earn more than Conor Gallagher, where is it? Robert Sanchez, Axel Disasi, Benoit Badiashile, Carney Chukwuemeka is on 100 a week. Mudrik's on 100. Malang Sarr's on 120. And then, Ben Chilwell's on like 200. Fofana's on 200. Like
exactly.
All these guys.
Fofana, Chilwell. Who were the other ones? James on 250. 250. And who's the top one?
Sterling.
So if I'm Gallagher, why would I not be demanding parity with at least James, who's an academy product and club captain? So James is a very good example of a player he should be at least level with. Chilwell's been injured all the time.
Malang Sarr is over double what he's on.
So I'm not surprised if Gallagher's putting his foot down and saying I want at least 250 a week. Why shouldn't he be demanding that given what they're paying the other players?
But at Chelsea is the only club where he would be, within his rights to ask for that kind of money.
That's the thing, he ain't going to get it at Tottenham.
Yeah, anywhere else either.
Well, anyway, yeah.
But anyway, let's move on to the last one. It's a confirmed deal. Tottenham target Hiroki Ito has joined Bayern Munich. Fabrizio Romano and Florian Plettenberg broke the news yesterday. Hiroki Ito to Bayern. Here we go. Agreement in place with the player on a 5-year contract. Next step, medical test. Bayern have triggered the €30 million release clause from Stuttgart for the 25-year-old Japanese defender. So
pray for Dyer.
Another one bites the dust.
Pray for Eric Dyer.
Pray for Eric Dyer.
He might be losing his place. But I think that's a good signing for Bayern. I think it's a smart piece of business considering the price. We mentioned before £25 million for his release clause. So I think he's a really good player. Obviously had a great season with Stuttgart. Bayern also obviously have a knack of hoovering up all the best quality of the teams below them in the Bundesliga, albeit Stuttgart was actually above them this year, but very rare season in that sense.
It's once in a lifetime, that.
Yeah, that's also true. Obviously, it's disappointing from Tottenham's point of view, but then again, you snooze, you lose. If you're not decisive, other clubs could always pull the trigger and pay that release clause, and Bayern did. I don't think he was Tottenham's first choice, but it's a shame an option like that has disappeared, because he would have been a good option for us at a good price.
Yeah, absolutely. So another one bites the dust with Tottenham. And back on what you were saying about Eric Dyer, probably company was one of the worst things that could happen to Dyer, because I think under Tuchel and that system that Tuchel plays, he would be really good for it. But company, high line, expansive football, I think Dyer is probably going to be a full guy again. And he's got 1 year left in his contract. I think he signed a 1 year deal, didn't he, with Bayern? So we'll see what happens there. But that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news stories brought to you today. Do you think Cuti Romero could be making the trip to Real Madrid this summer? Like, subscribe and comment. And as always, come on, you